I kidnapped a juvenile female dragon and forced him to call me Papa, but I did it to protect him. In the previous life, this little female dragon died unexpectedly on the Earth after the big mother dragon heard the news, launched a crazy revenge on the Earth. When the Earth is about to be destroyed, I accidentally obtained the ability to reverse time and space. I decided to go back to the past and protect the little female dragon, stop the tragedy from happening again. At this time, on a city path stands a girl. Her hair color is like peridot. Eyes sparkle like jewels. I know she is the dragon. Hello, little lolly. I waved to him blankly. You make me feel very dangerous. Fluent Chinese is spoken from the young dragon's mouth. The girl belongs to the blue dragon lineage of the dragon clan. Not only does it contain a strong thirst for knowledge, and can predict the future to some extent, but judging from Qinglong's expression, he probably didn't predict that I would come to him. Then Qinglong said vigilantly, "Are you here to kill me?" Not interested in. So you are interested in my body, don't you care? Or are you going to kidnap me? Should be. Faced with my indifferent speech, Qinglong was a little speechless. Why can a mouth at 40 degrees say things at minus 100 degrees? He pouted and asked after kidnapping me. What are you planning to do? Keep you by my side. Why do you talk too much? Qinglong shut his mouth and was silent, so bad. Then he felt the slight pressure released all over me. After thinking for a while, I opened my mouth again. What if I disagree? I will take you away by force. Qinglong has already felt my strength. With his current strength, there is no room for retaliation at all. So he didn't want to resist. He knows no matter how hard he tries, neither will make any sense. He walked straight up to me. I choose to take the initiative to leave with you. So I'm a guest, not a victim, and you are not a kidnapper. So please treat me like a guest. Treat me well. Qinglong stretched out a hand naturally. Waiting for my response, I said coldly, I am not joking with you. From now on you must stay in my sight. As long as you obey, no one can hurt you but me. Qinglong stood there silently. I intend to protect you from this dangerous world. And you don't have to think about asking for help. In this world, no one can take you away from me. Do you understand these words? My majestic voice came into his head. Qinglong still maintains a calm expression on his face. If I listen well, won't hurt me. Can you guarantee? Even the mighty dragon. But he's just a kid. I can feel that little white hand is trembling weakly. I nodded lightly and replied, I promise. When the words fell on the street, a man and a woman disappeared in an instant. Early the next morning, Qinglong stretched comfortably. Walked out of the room in new pajamas. I let him sleep in the only room, lying on the sofa in a living room all night. Good morning, despite being a dragon and being kidnapped. But he seems to sleep well. Casually rubbed his eyes. Messy hair glistens in the morning light. What's for breakfast? Qinglong asked confusedly. And I look at the newspaper in my hand. Apathetic response, do you need to eat human food? Certainly. I get happy when I eat something delicious. Qinglong holds his head up and tells his reasons, but I ignored him. He continued persistently. Do you need to remind me what to pay attention to when living here? And what do you expect me to do? No, I replied coldly without raising my head. Then you are not. Let me be good. Always tell me what to do. Qinglong blinked his big eyes expectantly. Just stay here, and a few more will be coming soon. You just have to live with them. He looks puzzled. Who else? Your kind. At this time, Qinglong lowered his head and thought about something. Instead of continuing to ask, I changed the subject. Then can I go out usually? I nodded in response. It doesn't matter where the baby dragon goes. Important is, does he stay within his control? Do whatever you want. If you have any needs, you can also mention it to me. I will help you. As long as you don't do things behind my back. Any request is okay. Even if it's going to the toilet for me or visiting my aunt. I'm too lazy to answer such stupid questions, because I know dragons don't have big aunts. Qinglong is mischievous and laughs. I'm just joking. I want to go shopping with you now, is that okay? That's a proposal that took me by surprise. The two came to the shopping plaza in Bilingual district. The eyes of people around, all involuntarily gathered on Qinglong. So beautiful. Is he some actor? but the guy next to him looks pretty scary. Let's not look at him. I can hear the murmurs of people around me. Words of envy keep coming. But when everyone's eyes meet mine, they will hastily turn their heads away. On the way back, I plan to take advantage of this time. Give Qinglong an ID card. So in the dark alley, found an underground dealer. The businessman said to Qinglong with a smile, "What do you want to name yourself?" The name Qinglong turned to look at me. "You Xiaojun," I said a name without thinking. "You can name it whatever you want as long as it doesn't confuse you. Anyway, there are 3 more dragons that can be picked up later. Xiaoxia, Xiaochu, and Xiaoxia. Zhongshan is easy to remember." The businessman quickly pulls an ID card out of the machine. Hand it to Qinglong. On the way back, Qinglong looked blankly at the ID card in his hand. Look up again at me, who is walking in front. Humor is back. Can feel with other humans. Huge gap in strength. Qinglong always feels anxious at this time. This man is dangerous, extremely dangerous. His instinct warned himself in real time. Even in this defenseless situation. That man is dangerous too. Qinglong shook his head to put the fear behind him. Eyes returned to the ID card in his hand. First season on Earth. It's a beautiful name, and he likes it very much. Maybe this guy isn't as dangerous as he seems. Yu Xiaoju looked at the man in front of him again. Found out that he has a huge back. Though he's still scared. But if you look at it from another angle, he is also like a city wall soaked in blood. Full of security. He smiles. Live well with him from now on. After coming back, Xiaojun started to work in the kitchen. Soon a scent filled the room. See this scene. I'm in a strange mood. Because Xiaojun still had a crying expression before. Now he's humming. Seems to be in a good mood. During the previous 6 rounds, Xiaojun has done 4 different jobs. Twice a painter and 1 a sculptor. Another time a novelist. Generally speaking, they are highly creative occupations. Just when I was thinking about how to find the next 6 dragons, Xiaojun came out of the kitchen with a plate of food in hand. There is something similar to fried rice on the plate. Xiaojun picked up the spoon and took a spoonful and brought it to my mouth. Blinked those big eyes. I froze for a while, then opened my face expressionly. How about eating it in 1 bite? Xiaojun's eyes are filled with anticipation. I chewed once. I wanted to say something, but I still couldn't bear it. Then I took another spoonful and put it in my mouth. See empty plates. A flower bloomed on Xiaojun's face. Xiaojun looked at my appearance and thought it suits my taste. The smile on the face is stronger. However, I have deep doubts in my heart. What does it taste like? Terrible. Looking at Xiaojun's bouncing figure, I secretly tongue-tied. No wonder he didn't choose a chef as a career. Just such a person. The strange cohabitation life with a dragon begins. He cooks, washes dishes, watches TV and reads books. Live like it's his home. Today he brought back a small flower pot. It was an empty flower pot with no signs of life. What's this? The color of this house is too dark. I think you need to be a little angry. As Xiaojun said, my house is like my double. It's basically grey inside. Everything looks normal. But it doesn't feel like home. Come and see. Kuharu put her hand in a flower pot filled with soil. When he raised his hand carefully, there is a tiny leaf that has sprouted. I watch little life burst out. There is no fluctuation in my heart. I just think this approach is very suitable for Xiaojun. Identity of the dragon of nature. In 2 days of living together, I kept my distance and space from him. This stone door is opened. A guy just like me walks in. It's my clone. He repeats the life of going to and from get off work every day. Come back every time. Integrate what happened in a day. Into my body. Doppelganger into a cluster of areas. Quickly integrated into my body. At this time, I looked at the pot Xiaojun brought back. I'm thinking about the past life. Xiaojun's voice woke him up from his thoughts. Are you sleeping? I slowly opened my eyes. He is holding a Rubik's Cube in his pajamas. You teach me how to play this. Xiaojun took out a Rubik's Cube and held it up in front of my eyes. I looked at him indifferently. Where did you find this? A kid gave it to me when I was playing downstairs. Can you play it? I wanted to say no. But the words changed again. No, but we can work it out together. In my last life, I locked them in an unchanging place. They can't feel any emotions when they are young. And the novelty of the world. They just can't take it as adults. One of the red dragons chose ego. This makes all my efforts come crashing down in a bundle. This time can't do it again. At this moment, Xiaochun's eyes revealed an expression of excitement. Really? I tried to smile and said. You seem surprised. Yeah, I didn't expect you to say that. After a few hours, the Rubik's Cube was solved with a click. It was successful. Xiaochun shook his body with a smile on his face. Counting the more than 100 years of observing Xiaochun in previous lives, this is the first time I saw Xiaochun showing such an expression. So happy. Xiaochun's eyes bent into a bow and smiled happily. I woke up on the couch the next morning. Stretched out. Next I have to go and bring the red dragon back. Actually, I don't know him very well. I don't know anything except that he's aggressive. Even in the previous 6 rounds. He does whatever he wants. He's the only dragon that doesn't obey my rules. If other dragons are afraid of me, then the red dragon is different. In each round, his attitude towards himself is close to loathing. Luckily this time, it will be better. Because Xiaochun is with me. You want to bring the red dragon back. Koharu is tying her green hair back. Give the small ears to Lu. I didn't even look at him when he came out and said coldly. Looking at the flower pot, Koharu. After a moment of contemplation, open your mouth and say you probably won't like what you're doing. Of course, I don't like you kidnapping me either. But not as intense as Xiaohong. I froze for a moment. Kidnapping can also be said. How about you help me persuade him? You are all dragons after all. However, Koharu shook his head. Indicates that dragons of different races will have a little distance. He may not be able to help. I thought about it. Asked uncertainly. How about bringing him by force? Xiaochun opened his eyes wide. You can't do this. Strength is the pride of the red race. If you use your strength to break through Hongming, we'll put a lot of pressure on him. Recall Red Dragon. Last word in earlier rounds of time. I understand Xiaochun is right. Xiaochun blushed a little and said, do you have to bring him? If you want to keep a dragon as a pet. Is it not enough just me? Why does this sound a bit jealous? I looked at him seriously and said, I brought you here just to protect you. It's not about keeping baby dragons as pets. Xiaochun's eyes are because of Yukomen's flowers. Become a little brighter, and if I don't bring him back in time, Red Dragon will be hurt. Some people have set their sights on him. Xiaochun frowned and thought about it. Then he agreed. Soon, I'm flying in the direction of Africa. I found a few local supernatural beings. After making them submit with fists, ask if you've seen the Night Fighter. Night Fighters are red dragons when they are active in Africa. An alias to use, according to the clues provided by the supernatural, when the sun is about to set. I just managed to track down the red dragon. The sound of the explosion can be heard repeating from a distance. At present, there must be a huge battle going on there. Keep Koharu in a safe place. Then I walked to where the fight took place. Immediately found the red dragon. The white skin seems to be carved from white jade. A head of fiery red hair glistens in the sun. However, there's madness in his beautiful bright eyes. He is being besieged by several supernatural beings. Swords and spears fly by. It didn't take him long to defeat all the supernatural beings. And throw the spear in his hand. Fly to me, who is beeping. I tilt my head slightly to avoid the deadly spear. You escaped. Hong Long grinned and jumped towards me. At the same time, the long sword on his waist thrust forward with oppressive force. But I simply grabbed the long sword with my hand. Look at this powerful blow. Easily stopped by hand. Disbelief on his face. Who are you? I greeted indifferently. Nice to meet you. Who are you? Why a human being like you is here? Shouldn't it be said that you are still human? I look into the red dragon's wary eyes. For the red dragon who believes in power, incomprehensible force is an unpleasant factor. I don't like this kind of battle, but I messed up my first impression. We must find a way to make the red dragon let down his guard. While thinking, Xiaochun appeared from behind. How are you, Xiaohong? The eyes of the red dragon inspect Xiaojun and me. Soon a hollow laugh came from those red lips. How will you be here? I'm here to see you. Come meet me. What is that monster next to you? Xiaojun scratched his head and looked at me. It's just a human being I've met recently. Not a monster. I nod casually. Suddenly, the red dragon let out a sneer. Obviously don't believe. Seeing this, Xiaojun began to adjust for the two of us. The green race in dragon family is a regulatory species. Keep calm in any situation. That's why I put Xiaojun back first. However, looking at the red dragon's ever-changing expression, it's not that simple. Xiaojun had an idea. I had to lie to Red Dragon that I need a younger brother. And the Red Dragon has always wanted to become stronger. Unexpectedly, the Red Dragon resolutely decided, come on, let me kiss you, and you go back. The Red Dragon tries to kiss Kuhara on the cheek. After being dodged by Xiaojun, said in a slightly annoyed tone, if you don't take my advice, strangled by him, or so and so, remember, don't blame me for not reminding you. After speaking, Red Dragon made up some bloody scenes in his own brain. Excited smile, so fucking exciting. You can also whip if you like. The Red Dragon smiled and touched his cheek, then turned and walked into a space that suddenly appeared. Xiaojun, who stood there, stared and said nothing, delicately brushing hair with fingers. Come to me with a dejected look on your face. You did very well. I put my hand on Xiaojun's hair to comfort him. What are you going to do now? Although Xiaojun's persuasion failed, but even then, there is a way. It is necessary to break his pride. Maybe it can be done by someone else's hands? Xiaojun's eyes lit up. Seems to understand something. Didn't realize. I am calculating my own with a human being. Also, it's a good plan. Let's discuss a plan of action. Xiaojun's previous anger has long since disappeared. There are more smiles on the face. It is not difficult to reposition the Red Dragon. So the two looked for the footprints of the Red Dragon. Followed all the way. Red Dragon, with a crude mask he recreated out of wood. Go through 3 battlefields from night to dawn. Brandishing his fist and sword. His opponents are not fixed. There are troops scattered under the banner, and there are also terrorists. Organization Alta. He doesn't bother to join any party. If there's a fight, he'll step in. Then knock both sides down. But didn't kill them. Because he is only interested in the battle itself, not murder. Unless the other party wants his life. But it's time to come. Are you night fighter? One in pure blue armor. Hand holding a common person exuding a strong red light. Standing in front of the Red Dragon. Just from the existence of this person. The air around the desert is suppressed and heavy. His name is Javier Karma. Ranked 8th among hunters in the entire world. He is the top force that San is proud of. It is also an unparalleled power on this continent. Although the Red Dragon has been fighting for a whole year, but still much weaker than Javier. Xiaojun and I hid in a different dimension together. Xiaojun also sensed Javier's strength. At this time, the Red Dragon smiled. You look strong. Looks like I found the right person. Due to target. Javier immediately pointed his sword forward. Sword of the Sun, a sword forged from the essence of the sun. He's an amazing thriller, suddenly a diameter. Considered a national tactical weapon. You are too arrogant. Now is the time to pay. Red Dragon, I roughly weighed my odds. But the results made him angry. Maybe caused by self-esteem. He can't accept that a human being can be so powerful. So he won't run. He wants to fight. The Red Dragon roared and rushed forward. And Javier easily repelled those attacks. And skillfully wields a long sword, aimed at the head of the Red Dragon. His angle of attack is very experienced. Fast and fierce. Force the Red Dragon to activate defensive magic urgently. A red halo of protection hangs over his head. But it's not enough. The power of the sheep hunting sword is overwhelming. The Red Dragon keeps getting knocked down. Finally, a long wound on the forehead made him roar. Damn, I'm gonna kill you. At this time, the red magic power began to surround the Red Dragon. He will unleash all his strength. Then the previous one-sided game started to emerge. Twist Ormrong a fist. Hit Javier deeply on the jaw. Force Javier to quickly distance himself. Raise the sword. Quick, his blue armor and this sword start to resonate. Artifacts above a certain level, usually sealed with true power. To hide its enormous destructiveness. Unblock only when needed. Lit Javier muttering a spell. Not long after, a strong light began to flow from the flaming sword. The sun gathers near the sword, as if put into a furnace. The transformation began to be dyed with a strong light. Red is in danger. Xiaochun eagerly grabs the sleeve of my shirt. Hope he goes to help. But even so, I still watched with my hands on my hips, with the sword of the sun slamming down in Javier's hand. Where the red dragon is, there's a huge mana explosion.